Hello. Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you to all for joining the session today. So, today we will be talking about GitHub, and open source. Uh, First, tell me if my voice is clear to you all. Is there any noise? Um, okay. Okay. So, this is our session agenda today. Uh, I'll be talking about um why you should learn Git and what exactly is Git and how does Git work. Then we will be then I'll be taking what is exactly GitHub and how Git and GitHub are two different things. uh, then Aditya will be taking the session onwards. He will be introducing you to open source, how you should contribute to start doing open source, and how you can actually contribute to an open source project by creating a first PR. He will be giving a demonstration to that, and he will be also telling you all the opportunities you can get in open source. Okay, so let's start the session. Okay, why Git first? First, the question is why one should use Git. In basic terms, Git is to save different versions of your project. But you will ask me that why do I have to save different versions of my project? So the question of why backing up different project of versions, the different versions of your project is important. To answer this, let's take an example and let's go back to the time when there was no Git, when Git is not created, not invented. So let's take an example of John the freelancer. Okay, so John is a freelancer and there was no Git at this time. So he got a project from his client, and he has to do all the backend stuff. He has to create APIs, and he has to add features to the project. So his client told him to handle the backend. So he write all the code. He did work on all the logic, and he finally write the code and showed it to his client. Now his client said that, you know what, double the features. So hearing this, John got a little disappointed that he has to do all the work all over again. But since the client is paying him, so he has to do that. So John worked on the logic again, or added all the features all over again, modified all his project, and now he showed the modified project to his client. So his client said, I think I like the previous one. Now as hearing this, I am pretty sure that John would be very furious and very angry, but he cannot say anything to his client because of course he is paying him. So he have to undo all the changes. He have to go through all the files, and he have to um, whichever change he has done, he have to remove the changes. So this thing doesn't seem like good, right? One good approach. So what else John can do? So John thought that because since there is no Git that time, remember this, that there is no Git. So the another approach which John thought is that he will, whenever the client will say him to add a new feature, John will create a copy of the original project. So this is the original project John had. Now when the client will say him to add a new feature, John will create a copy of the original project and he will name it that temp final project. But in this process, John ended up creating so many copies, and he had final project, he had the final project, he had the final project too. So whenever his client said to add a new feature, he created a copy of the previous project, he added the features in the new copy, and he showed it to the client. So this approach is also not good, because in this approach he created so many folders for a single project. Now here comes Git. Now with Git, What is Git? Git, technically speaking, Git is a distributed version control. Hello. Sorry guys. Okay. So, what is Git? So, technically speaking, Git is a distributed version control system. Now, breaking this in, these are so very much technical terms. Breaking this down. Let's take first version control system. So, what is version control system? So, version control system is nothing but it is a software tool that keeps track of all the changes and modifications you do to your code. So, taking the example of John, in the previous example, when John had the initial project which will be named as version one, when he did changes to this project, then Git will track changes. Git will track all the changes, and the new project will be named as version two. And when the client said John to that he don't like the new changes and he want the previous changes, so with the help of Git, John can easily revert back to the previous version. So this is what Git is. Git gives you power to have a version control, have all the versions, and have a history of all the changes you have done to your data, your project. Now coming to our next topic, what is GitHub? So, GitHub is different from Git. GitHub is an online platform owned by Microsoft that provides hosting for software development and version control using Git. So, the projects which you have initialized with Git, you can host it onto GitHub. So, GitHub is a platform. Just like GitHub, there are many other platforms on the internet like GitLab, Bitbucket, and there are many more, but GitHub is like the largest host for source code. It provides you all the features of Git, plus it has its own features. Currently many of the organizations and many of the big companies use GitHub to maintain their source code efficiently, and also many developers showcase their projects, their portfolios, and a lot more things through GitHub. They host their projects over GitHub. Okay, so summing it up all, what is there is a difference between Git and GitHub. I will briefly explain this. So as I told earlier, Git is a version control system. Git is a it is a tool, it is a software which controls tracks the changes you do to your project, you do to your files and folders. On the other hand, GitHub is a platform on which you host your projects, host your repositories. Second, Git is a command line tool, like the commands which you see over the internet, like git add, git commit, git merge. These are Git commands. These are not GitHub commands. These are Git commands. Git is a command line tool, and on the other hand, GitHub is a website. And Git is installed and maintained in your local system. You install Git in your local system, and you initialize your repositories in your local the local directories which you have. You initialize it with Git. On the other hand, GitHub is a cloud based repository hosting service. So this is the difference between Git and GitHub. Now, there are certain terminologies which are very famous in the Git and GitHub world. I will not be going very deep in all the commands and all, because this is a beginner's track. So my motive is to just get you familiar with the jargons that are used in this Git and GitHub world. Rest is on you to like to get a hang of them, get a hang of Git and GitHub on your own. I will share the resources on the Slack channel if you want to, and you can learn on yourself. So the first thing is repository. So repository is nothing but a GitHub project. Just a normal project. A normal project is called as a repository because just it is initialized with Git. If you take a normal project which you have in your desktop, in your local machine, if you initialize it with Git, it will become a repository. Next we will cover is commit. So commit is the thing which when commit is the thing which in which git keeps track of your projects. Like consider this image. You had this initial common base of your project. You initialize it with git. Now whenever you do a change in your files, like if you had a file called index.html, if you change something in that file is modified. So for that file to be tracked by git, you have to add that file in a staging area. After adding it to the staging area, you will have to commit the file. You have to create a commit so that it will be pushed to your git repository. So whenever you commit, you create a checkpoint. This checkpoint will signify all the changes that you done to that file at that particular time. So for example, if I changed my file, I committed, this one checkpoint will be created. Now if I modify the file again, I have to commit it again so that another checkpoint will be created. So hence git will create every time you commit, every time a new checkpoint will be created. And hence like this a history will be kept of all the changes you have done to your code. Now another thing is push. So get when you do any change to your local, you have a repository on your local system, but you can also push your changes to a remote server. Remember I told you about github. So github is a remote server where you can push your changes. So you will create a repository on github and you will push all your changes using this push command. And it will push all the changes and all the history of your remote of your local repository to a remote repository, which can be a github repository, a gitlab repository, or any repository. You can also pull the changes as well. Now what is branching? Now another feature of git is branching. Branching is like for example, you are working with one of your friend, and your friend is working on another feature and you are working on another feature. And so what you can do is you can create a branch is like just like a branch of tree. For example, here you can see there is a branching here from. So what does branching do? Whenever you create a branch, all the previous code will come to that branch. And when you code in that particular branch, your code will not be reflected in the main master branch. This, the blue line which you are seeing, is the main master branch. This is by default branch. And whenever you have to add a new feature or have to work separately, like your code should not affect the main code, so what you can do is you can create a branch. You can work separately on that branch, and after you're sure that your code is perfect and it won't break the main code, you can merge it. So now another thing is merging. So this is what I mean from branching and merge. Here you can see, here is a green branch checked out from the master branch. I did some code, I changed the file, I commit. So here is one commit, one checkpoint. Then I add some more code, I created another commit. Here is one more commit. And then I felt like it is perfect. Now I can merge it to the main branch. So I created I merged it to the master branch. So this is how you can create many more branches and you can merge it to the master branch. So this is merging. Now next is clone. Clone and fork I will be covering when I will show you GitHub. So let's go to GitHub platform. Okay, so this is the GitHub platform I was talking previously about. So my GitHub platform is logged in. I have created a GitHub account. So there here comes my profile. But if you have not created a GitHub account, you have to create a GitHub account. Then this is the home page. Here you can see it is like all the activities, just like uh, a normal Instagram timeline or any timeline. Like whatever your followers have done, it will show you her. Like I can see this person has started a repository, so I can see all the timeline over here, like which person is doing what. And this recent activity is what activities I have done in the previous in last few days. And here you can see all the repository I have. Here you can see here on the top right corner, Here comes my profile photo. You can share your profile option. Go to your profile. Okay, so this is the URL which you share to your social LinkedIn, like your portfolio or your resume you share to every like professional network. So it consists of certain pinned repositories. Now, what is a repository? What I mean by repository, I told you earlier, repository is just a project which is hosted on GitHub. Like, here are some projects of mine. Here are all the repositories which I can see, like blog, website, relay tracks. These are all the repositories I have created or I have forked. In the overview part, this is a profile, a generic profile which you can create. It is very easy to create a profile. You just have to name the repository similar to your username. This is my username, Toxic Khushbu. If you name your repository same as your username, it will create a profile. The readme, you have to add a readme.md file in it, and whatever you write in the readme file, it will come over here. Now the next part is pinned repositories. Pinned repositories are those repositories which you are proud of, which you wanted to show to your show to other developers, like to see, like these are certain repositories which I think like I am good at. So, and next comes is contribution. So this is like a graph. This shows how many days you have contributed to certain repository, to you are active on GitHub. Like, I have done 391 contributions in the last year. Or next comes your activity. This is particularly your activity, like what I have done, where I have contributed. I have created a commit in this branch, I have created a commit in this branch, created 3 repositories. All over this, all the activities you have done will come over here. Okay, so this is all I think, and the next is creating a PR and introducing you to open source. So that thing will be done by Aditya. So Aditya.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Kushbu. So let me present my screen. So is my screen visible? Yeah, I think it's visible. Yeah. Yeah. So Kushbu has introduced you to Git and GitHub. So apart from the purpose of GitHub is not only to host your uh, projects, but also you can contribute to many open source organizations through GitHub, because GitHub is the largest source code hosting website. So many organizations have hosted their source code on GitHub. So you can contribute to the open source. So before talking about contribution, first let's see what is open source software. So the software for which the source code is available for free to the users means the organization which provides their whole source code to their product available for free on the internet, so that you can download that source code and modify that and even contribute the new features to that. So that is open source. So developers from around the globe contribute to the source code in the open source culture. So open source, what open source promotes? Open source promotes the collaborative contribution. It creates the transparency in the contribution. You know what other people are contributing, and you can also give them. You can also review their code, and you can also ask for a review from other contributors as well. So this is basically a community-oriented development. So this is what open source software is. So, summarizing it in one line, the code that is written by the developer community for the developer community is the open source. So, how open source works? Open source organizations do not have big offices. They do not have that funding to hire the developers. So, To contribute to it, various people around the globe come together and make a contribution to the open source organizations. And this all is done on the platforms such as GitHub and GitLab and various other platforms, but GitHub is widely used. So how you can start your open source contribution? First important thing is to develop a skill. So you need to learn a skill such as web development or Android app development or even machine learning. So develop any skill and just keep improving. Don't uh, pause your learning habits. So just keep improving and contribute to the project that you are regularly using. Means like you are a web developer and you are using Bootstrap a lot. So if you found something buggy in the Bootstrap, you can contribute to that. You can solve that bug on the repository. Third point is find a mentor. Finding a mentor is best thing in open source. Why mentor is important? Because you can ask any type of questions related to the code, related to the organization to your mentor. Like if you stuck anywhere, you can ask questions to your mentor. So having a mentor is very much important. Contribution is not always about code. It is not necessary to always contribute to the code base. You can also contribute to the design and the documentation if you are regularly writing technical blogs. So you can even contribute to the documentation. So this is the theory. So let me show you something on GitHub. So let me present my screen. Yeah. So yeah, this is GitHub. So first you have to find the repository in which you want to contribute, such as if you want to contribute to let's say Bootstrap, you can even search like Bootstrap GitHub and you will get the Bootstrap repository. So this is this is the source code of the Bootstrap. You can even download this source code, modify it like you want, and the first thing you have to see in the repository is the README file. Before starting contributing, you have to read the information about the organization and important things like how you have to contribute and what are the guidelines that you should follow before contributing. So it contains code of conduct also, like every big organization repository contains the code of conduct which you can read. It contains all the important points that you should consider before contributing. So, here are some of the points that you can so like main page, you can also search for the repository from here. Like I have searched about OpenEMR. So OpenEMR is an organization which works on basically on medical field. So this is the source code, and it also contains the code of conduct and the README file. Also, some of the repository contains the contributing guideline, like how you should contribute. It contains all the information about that. So it is worth reading these. So after reading the README file and after knowing the community guidelines, what you should do, you should poke this repository in which you want to contribute. So here you can see there are three buttons. Like first is watch. Like if you click this watch, so any update in this repository will be notified to you. And one is start. So if you are really loving this repository and you are regularly contributing to this, so you can start this repository. To contribute, it is recommended to fork the repository first. Like I have already forked this repository. So this is my forked repository. See, this is my forked repository because my username is here. And Also below that it is written that forked from the original repo, that is OpenEMR. So you can clone this repository. After cloning this repository and locally set up the whole code base, like it is there is also a file telling about how to locally set up the project. Like it also contains also organization contains the community channel for the support, like Slack channel or Discord channel. So you also can join that. Okay, so let's go back to the main repo. Yeah. So you can like if you really want to contribute to the repository, so first and foremost thing that you should do is to check the issues. So you can see the issues here, like what all are the issues that you can solve. If you are a beginner, then there is a label such as good first issue. uh, So like as you can see this issue, it contains the good first issue label. So it is the relatively easier issue that you can solve if you are contributing for the first time in this repository. These are the main points that you should keep in mind. And if you want to report a bug, then you can also create a new issue here. Like if you have encountered any bug, it is always recommended to open a new issue, because open source is all about your participation. So if you participate in the open source, you are actively participating, reporting the bug, then the product is getting better for all over the users around the globe. So if you solved an issue, just say you have solved any issue, so the thing that you have to do is to open the PR. PR is pull request. So like if you open any of the PR, like if we see this PR, so someone has opened this PR. So if you can see this PR, you can also see the code that he has changed. So he has changed the 9 files here. So you can also see the code that he has changed. So it is very transparent process. You can also see the code that he has changed. You can also add your comments, like I have not, I have issue with this, like this change that you have made. So can you please change it to this and this? So you can also review the code that other people have contributed. And if your PR has successfully passed all the checks, and if it is been uh, passed by the maintainer, so he will merge your PR and your code will merge to the master branch of the main repo. So your code will be the part of the organization that many people are using. So it is the best feeling in the world. Like if you contributed to the open source for the first time. So this is all about open source contribution. This is I'm not telling you about any commands stuff like that, because this is a beginner's tech. I've just scratched the surface. Open source is a lot more than this. So let's go back to the PPT again. Yeah. So what all are the benefits of contributing to the open source? First of all, it increases your coding skills for sure, because if you are contributing to the code base of any organization, any big organization that is live, that people are using on daily basis. So this will increase your coding skills. You will see the code contributed by the others. You will also contribute your code. So it will increase your coding skills for sure. You will gain experience a lot of experience you will gain from contributing to the open source. You will learn how to work in a team. Like there are various open source organizations which are working on any project. So if you are the part of that team, or you are working on an issue on which 2 3 people are also working on, so you will learn how to work in team. So that's also an important skill if you go to any company. So it increases your reach in the community. Many developers around the globe will recognize you who are also contributing in the same repo as you are contributing. So they will recognize you, and also you may get many job opportunities. They will also refer you to various places. So contributing to open source is far better. So you will learn how to write quality code and learn the process of working in a tech company, because companies also work like this only. They also have a platform such as GitHub. Facebook also uses GitHub only for their contribution. So you will be reviewing others' code, you will be creating a PR, you will be solving issues, you will be reporting bugs. So these are the processes that are followed in the company. So you are learning all that here while contributing to the open source. So what all are the opportunities that are available for the open source? They are like Hacktoberfest is currently going on, so you can also contribute to the any open repo, like who are participating in Hacktoberfest, not any repo. So if you contributed to that and your 4 PR got successfully merged, you will get a T-shirt for free. So this is a very nice opportunity if you want to start your open source journey. Google Summer of Code and Season of Docs, which is also organized by Google only. So these two are the biggest open source events. So Google Summer of Code also pays a stipend of $3,000. So as you can see, there are a lot of opportunities, and these are just a handful of opportunities. There are lots of more than these opportunities, such as MLH Fellowship is also there, and Outreachy also focuses on open source contribution. So these are the opportunities that are available for open source. So if you really want to start, if you really want to gain skills, if you really want to gain experience, so do open source. Open source is the best way to gain experience and to learn a lot in a short span of time. So this is all from my side. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the chat. Yeah, we have shared the Hacktoberfest link also in GSOC. GSOC 2021 timeline has also released, so you can refer the GSOC website for that. So if you have any question, you can ask in the chat. Can you demo the basic commands? Yeah, we can do that. Khushbu, will you do that, or I will do?
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, let me stop share. You can present your screen.
Yeah, wait a second. Okay, so as we have talked that we will be creating a PR. So let me show you how to create a PR in someone's repository. Okay, so guys, is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so let me go to Aditya's account and See, Aditya covered open source contribution, right? So open source contribution is basically contributing to anyone's code. So for today's session, taking I'll be contributing to one of the Aditya's repositories. So for that, what I will do is I'll go to Aditya's account. I will fork any of his repository. This
You can
repository,
fork the code Visual Forces one.
it is already forked, I think. Let me check. Oh no, it's not forked. Okay, I'll fork it. I have gone to Aditya's repository, Code Visual Forces. Now I see like he has used JavaScript, HTML, CSS in this repository. So I felt like I can contribute to this. I thought like I can do some changes in the README. So for that, what can I do is I will go over here. I will fork his repository. Now forking is just creating a copy of his repository to my GitHub account. So I will fork it over this Chalk se Khushbu account. It will take a few minutes to fork. Okay, cool. It's forked. So now forking. After forking, you can do two steps. Like for now, I have to just either I can do change a README. So for changing a README, I don't have to do any coding or anything. So for changing the README, I can just click over here and change the readme. So I can do that, but if I have to code, like if I have to add a JavaScript file, or if I have to change a JavaScript code or something, for that I have to take this repository to my local system. So for taking this repository to my local system, what can I do is I have to go over here and do this cloning. Now, what cloning does? Cloning creates a copy of this repository in my local system. For example, this repository is right now present on GitHub. It is not in my local system. So for copying it to my local system, I have to copy this URL. So first, tell me, guys, like if you want to see the commands, or do I just I just create a PR like changing the README? I think for now I should just change the README and
No, here mentioned that can you show the basic commands? That
okay. So okay, cool. I will show the commands. Okay. So I will head over to the terminal. Wait a second. Is my terminal? Also, I have sharing only one tab. Let me share all the tabs. Okay, is my screen visible?
yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay, so what will I do is I will copy this command. I will go over to my terminal. Now I want to clone this repository to the DSC folder. So I'll go to DSC folder, and what I will do is git clone and paste the command. So what this will do is this will create a copy of Code Visual Forces which was on GitHub to my to my personal desktop, to my laptop. So now I can cd into Code Visual Forces. Okay, so don't bother on this master. This won't. I think this won't come in your terminal. This is coming in my terminal because I'm using OMSSH. So we are in the Code Visual Forces. Now what I have to do is I have to I want to add a file. I want to add a test.txt file. For that, it is recommended that you should not do the changes in the master branch. See, I have cloned. There are two things. I think you are pretty much clear with fork and clone. Fork is basically creating a copy on GitHub, and clone is creating a copy of this repository on my personal laptop. Now what I will do is I will create a branch. Now I told you about branching. What is branching? It's like branching is for doing any code which will not affect the main code. So I don't want to affect the main code which Aditya is doing in Code Visual Forces, because my file may break his code, or may contain something which is not required. So what for that I will create a branch, a separate branch, and I will do my code in that branch. So for creating a separate branch, you will hit branch test. So what will this do? Now, for how can you check that this branch is created or not? For that, you will just type git branch. So here you can see there are two branches. One is master branch and one is test branch. Master branch is the default branch I created, and master branch is the default branch, and test branch is I just created it. So yeah, the asterisk which is over here, this shows that I am currently on my master branch. Now I'll press Q, and it's back to the terminal. Now I have to shift to the test branch. Right now I'm in the master branch. I don't want to do the code in master branch. I want to do the code in test branch. So before moving to the test branch, I want to see what are the commits currently in the master branch. So to see the current commits, I will do git log. Now what git log does? Git log tells you all the commits which are currently present in this master branch. For example, don't worry that these commits are not done by you. These commits are already in the, remember I told you that git keeps track of all the changes done to the file, done to the project. So it keeps track in form of commit. So these are all the commits which were done by Aditya, and he has pushed all his code over to the GitHub, which I have cloned in my personal repository, in my personal account, so I can see all the changes. So these are the changes done by Aditya. Now what I will do is I will go to test branch. So git, and also don't worry that you have to learn, or you have to cram all these commands. You don't have to. There are resources, and there is internet. You can just Google and do all the things. And with practice, it comes like it. It's not necessary to remember all of them. Now I have come to the test branch. See, there is previously I was in the master branch. Now I am in the test branch. So in test branch, now I will open and edit. For example, I will create a file. Touch. Okay, so I have created a file named github session.txt. When I do ls, you can see there is a file github session.txt created over here. Now what I will do is I will see there is this color change. What this color change signifies that there is something changed in the particular branch which is not being tracked by git. Now how can I check that? Just do git status. So what this command does is git status will show you the current status of your project, like which what current files are not being tracked by git, and what files are in the staging area, and if there is something to commit or not. So right now it is showing me that there is one file github session.txt which is not being tracked. So there are three main stages in git. One stage is untracked, another stage is staging area, and the next stage is committed. So right now the github session.txt file is not being tracked by git because I just created it, right? So for it to being tracked, I have to put it into the staging area. You can consider it with an example. For example, when you go to a shopping mall, uh, you um, you pick the items, right? You pick whatever items you want to buy, and you put it in the shopping cart, and then you go to the counter, and you get a bill. Okay, so the bill which you get is the commit, and for the bill, so the bill is the commit, and you will get the bill for whatever items you have put in the cart. So the cart is the staging area. So for I won't be getting a bill for the things which I have not put in the in the cart. So I have to put this GitHub session. This GitHub session.txt is like items in the shopping mall. So for this GitHub session.txt file to be committed, I have to put it in the staging area. So that staging area is my cart, right? So I will do that by doing git add GitHub session.txt. So right now I have just one file, GitHub session.txt. So I did git add GitHub session.txt. But if I have so many files, like if I've added 3, 4, 5 files, and I have to add all the files in the staging area, so I don't want to type all the names one by one. So what the shortcut command is git add dot. It will add all the files which are not being tracked to the staging area. So once I do this, now I will do again. I will again do git status. So now you can see that the color is changed. Here is GitHub. Here it is in red color. Here is it in green color. Also the log is changed. Here you can see it is shown as untracked files, and now it is shown as changes to be committed. That means that this particular file is now being tracked by Git, but you have to commit it. You have to like the remember the shopping wala example, the bill which you get. So that bill, for that bill you have to commit the file. So once I commit, it will be saved in my git repository. Now it will a checkpoint will be created for that particular file. So for that, I will add a message. A message is for just to demonstrate like what you have done in a particular commit. It is like a general convention that you create like that you add a message to every commit you create, for that for a easier understanding. Like you work in a big project, there are so many people working with you. So whenever you create a commit, you add a message to it, so that if some other person like if Aditya sees this, when I will pull we will come to that later on. But when somebody else see this, he will get a little hint ki what I have done in that particular commit. Okay, so I'm doing this now. When I do git status, you will see that on branch test, nothing to commit, working tree clean. So I have added all the things, like I have modified, I have added a txt file, I have added it to the staging area, I have committed it. Now the time is to push this to my see, remember this is the cloned repository in my personal desktop. This is not the changes I have done right now are not available on the github account. Like if you see over the github account, there is no github.txt, github GitHub session.txt file. Here it is not present. Why it is not present? Because I have not pushed my local code to my remote code. This is my this is my local repository, code Visual Forces, and this is my remote repository. Now how can I check that this is my remote repository? For that there is a command git remote -v. When you do git remote -v, it shows you what which remote repositories are linked to your particular local repository. So this is my particular local repository, code Visual Forces, and there are this remote repository is linked to this local repository. So you can see that this remote repository is the same as this Chok se Khushbu code Visual Forces, Chok se Khushbu code Visual Forces. So when I do git push origin test. Now what this command will do is it will git push origin test. Now origin, what is origin? Origin is an alias given to this remote repository. Now I can also type this whole line as git push http github.com toxic code Visual Forces, but it isn't. I have given an alias origin, which comes default. You have to it is default. When you cloned it, this remote repository get a alias origin. So when you do git push origin test, it will push the current test branch to the origin and create a test branch over there. Now I will do git. Now for before pushing, let me tell you, show it here. There is no test branch here. There is only a master branch and a dev branch. Okay. Now I will do git push origin test. Okay, I have to authentify that it is me. Now it has pushed my local code to the remote repository, GitHub repository. So now you can see this pop up comes, no, not pop up, this thing, this block comes over here. Test head pushes less than a minute ago. Compare and pull request. So now when I see over here, you can see. See here you can see on another branch has came. Previously it was just master and dev, and now it is master, dev and test. So now what will I do? I will go over here. Now what is PR? Pull request क्या होता है? Pull request is just creating a request to take my code to the original repository. Like मैंने ये changes ऐड किए, मैंने ये changes को मेरे personal repository पे push किया, but now I want कि आदित्य इन changes को accept करे and merge करे अपने original code के साथ. तो I will create a compare and pull request. So here you can see the base repository is Aditya's repository, Code Visual Forces, and in that I will pushing the code to master branch. I can change it to another branch as well. I can change it to dev branch, but I want to push it to master branch. And I am pushing. See, this is the base repository. This is the repository where I want to push the code. And from which repository I want to push the code? I want to push the code from my repository, Choksi Visual Code Visual Forces, and test branch. So this will create a PR from this repository to this repository. I will go over here. I will go. Oh, sorry. Before creating a pull request, you can add a description also. You can add a comment also. Like in general, it is recommended that when you create a pull request, you add a little bit description, like which issue you are creating a pull request for, or what you have done in this pull request. I have not added the description, but I can create a comment. I can go and edit and write a comment that I have added. I have added GitHub. So I can do this. Now you can see, just remember, just see that where I am right now. I am in the original repository. This is not my forked repository. This is the original repository in the Aditya's account. I am on Aditya's account and I am on the original repository, Code Visual Forces. So you can see here is a pull request created. Here comes a pull request, added GitHub description. So this pull request is created by me, 16, opened 1 minute ago by Choksi Kushbu. Now, what will Aditya do? Aditya will come over here, will open this pull request, will see my code. Here you can see all the files changed by me. He will see all the changes I have done. If you want to comment, if he sees that I have done a certain good thing, and if I have modified code and my code works perfectly, and there is no conflict, and the code is not breaking, so what will he do? He will merge this pull request. On merging pull request, what will happen? This test branch will get merged with the master branch. You can see right now it is in my test branch. Right now the code is in Choksi Khushbu test branch, but after creating merge pull request, this code will come to ADAD Aditya's master branch. So this is what PR means. This is what open source contribution means. You have to see the code, you have to modify the code, add changes to it. You have to push the code to your fork, and you have to create a PR from your fork to the original repository. This is the flow. I think it is clear.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Who has asked the question? Currency.
Currency.
Is it clear to you, Currency? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
thanks. It's clear.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. Any more questions from anyone? I think no one has any question.
Yeah. So, Yukti?
Yeah. So Thank you everyone for joining us today. And if there's any question, you can ask, or else we shall wrap up the session.
And thank you again, everyone, for joining the session. It really means a lot.
Okay, then, no doubts, we shall wrap up. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Arvind.